your words really do have the power to tear down or edify. And so going into the word and reading the word and hearing the Lord say, I want to say it's in Hebrews about not taking insult for insult, even when you feel offended, not coming back with a jab. And like our lips upon each other should be to edify one another, not to tear each other down, not to insult one another, not to like, even like, it's so crazy. This is one of the craziest things that I learned on tour. The Lord is not a part of like roasting culture. Like roasting each other, like talking about each other, like that is not.
Talk more about that.
So, like I said, what I was reading in Hebrews was talking about not exchanging insult for insult, and not exchanging like I forget the exact word that it said, but not exchanging like witty words to one another and stuff like that. It just taught me that like, wow, the Lord is really not in like roasting culture. Like, would the Lord tell you like, them shoes, what are those? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, would the Lord say this thing? And I had to start asking myself like, okay, if the Lord would it like say this to his daughter or to his son? And the thing is, the Lord is very humorous.
Yeah,
don't get me wrong.
No, he is.
But the Lord ain't joning on us. You know what I'm saying? So even something as simple as like Joan, like I remember they was telling us about the culture of roasting. I'm like, they being uptight. Like this is how we have fun. So one time on tour, and it's so crazy, like this is so horrible that it's still funny to me because it shouldn't be funny to me, but it is. And so that's how I know I still have things to like work out of me. So like I was joning on one of my tour members or whatever, and I was talking about his hair, and like nobody laughed. And it wasn't because it wasn't funny, because I was dying laughing. But it was because they was like, we really not a part of like roasting culture. And I was like, wow, I really gotta like get my act together. Wow. So even just like reading that like hearing them say that, but reading it for myself in the word made me be like, oh wow, we really not supposed to be joning on each other. Like it really talks about like we really supposed to be edifying one another. And if we aren't doing that, it's so easy for someone to get offended without saying anything.
Wow.
And so I think the next thing that really was like huge for me was like not only watching my mouth, but like breaking free from offense, because offense is another way, just like unforgiveness, just like division, is another way that the enemy really like to come in. It's like allowing our hearts to stay in a place of offense where that we're not able to receive from one another. We're not able to talk to one another. We're not able to do any of those things because we are so offended. And so I feel like if the enemy could get you to be offended, he can get you to block what the Lord wants to do. You. Yeah, because the Lord could say, this is your business partner. I want you to go on business with this person. But this person said something or did something that you're offended by. And instead of having a conversation, or instead of taking it to the Lord and allowing the Lord to even work through that person's heart to say, hey, I think I said this to you kind of wrong. Like maybe I should have said it like this. Instead of doing that, we allow offense to fester in our hearts. And then what happens is that's supposed to be an opportunity, but the enemy is blocking it.
It's blocked.
It's blocked. We can't even get through because there's so much offense in our hearts. So yeah, just the mouthpiece, like making sure that I'm watching my mouth, not just in joning, but period, because it's things that I can say that are really sharp. Like that are, and sometimes things are supposed to be said sharp, but everything not supposed to be said sharp. And then just making sure that I'm leaving offense